Chag Sameach, and a happy Yom Haatzmaut to us all. What is it that we are celebrating today? Is it that Israel is a democracy against all odds, dealing with its many challenges, growing and thriving as a state? Is it that Israel is a leader in so many fields, especially science and high tech? Is it the revival of the Hebrew language? Is it the flourishing of Jewish learning and so many aspects of Jewish culture and Jewish life? Well, in truth, it's all of those and much, much more. But there's one particular aspect of what we celebrate today on Yom Haatzmaut that came home to me in a very real way in the last few weeks, and something I want to highlight today. This is a map made in the Byzantine period of the city of Jerusalem. The Cardo, the ancient Roman road, can be clearly seen in the middle, as can some of the churches and other features. But there's something missing from this map. There's no reference to Har Habayit, the Temple Mount, no Kotel, no Western Wall. Because when this map was made, those features were not significant. They didn't matter. The Jewish people had been written out of history. And they lived for 2,000 years on the margins of history, as guests sometimes unwelcome in other people's lands, dispersed and for the most part despised. Last week on Yom HaSha'ah, we remembered the very depths that trajectory reached. But that has changed. Earlier this year, in what seems like another lifetime ago, Scopus was excited and happy to host the visit of President Rabbi, the President of the State of Israel. And to be honest, when we agreed to host the President, we had no idea just how much work was involved. And I and others spent hours and hours in meetings, not just with the police to discuss security, but with representatives of the Victorian government who wanted to know minute by minute exactly what the President would be doing. Where would he walk? Which door would he go through? Whose hands would he shake? And the reason that they were so keen to know was because they wanted to pay honor to the President of the Jewish state. They wanted to make sure everything went absolutely right. And it did. And on the day when the President arrived, in a cavalcade of 16 different vehicles, with outriders, police and assistants, with helicopters buzzing overhead, with Israeli flags flying from the official car, not to mention throughout our school, it came home to us that here was the President of Israel, representing the Jewish state, taking its place amongst the family of nations. And the state of Victoria and the Commonwealth of Australia wanted to show him that honor because they wanted to honor the Jewish state and ultimately to honor the Jewish people. The Jewish people have come home, not just to the land which was promised to our ancestors and was the site of the first and second Jewish kingdoms for 1,000 years, but the Jewish people have come home to history. Our flag now flies tall and proud. The President of the State of Israel is honored throughout the world. We are back on the map. This is what we celebrate. This is how we draw our confidence and our pride. This, the creation of the State of Israel, the return of the Jews to history, is today what we celebrate and for what we give thanks. Chag Sameach. Have a great Yom Haatzmaut and enjoy that we live in an era where there is again a Jewish state.